We asked ChatGPT the frameworks. It knows why finance, which was my initial, gut feeling, right? We just asked it for a script. We told it to do the list of tickers and saving each one to a file. And then we asked it, and now we're about to do the additional library installs that are needed for the script. And then after this, we'll be ready to execute the script and test the results. So this is a little bit more of a like sequential waterfall approach, right? Like this is probably like what you have thought in the past as far as defining project planning. Because it's very much in sequence, they're all dependent on each other, so on and so forth. But I just wanted to pause to do that because it seems like a couple of you maybe needed a couple more examples about tasks, but this is basically what they are, right? So like when your boss asks you, okay, how you coming along on that story? Yeah, here's my tasks and I'm on task 3 or 4, right? That's basically us right now. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and do the installs that we need. So what was it? It was pip install yfinance and pip install pandas. Totally reasonable requests. Okay, it's already going to do pandas as part of the dependencies. So I'm assuming that when we go to install pandas, it'll tell us it already has it. And that's okay. Yeah, okay. All right, so we are good to go here. There is our script. So Python price collection.py. I don't think we asked for any outputs. Okay, there it goes. Okay, cool. So it did Apple, Google, Microsoft, and it saved it to their own CSVs. So let's go check it. So yeah, so if you'll notice, we now have 3 new files. So let's check out the Microsoft one. Okay. All right, so I'm seeing 2 columns, date and price. 253 lines, which is what? That's a year's worth. That's a year's worth of data, right? There's about 250 business days in a year, right? Roughly. So yeah. So who were my pro meta profit people? There were some people who were pro meta profit, right? What do you guys think? Does this look ready? I mean, some of you were claiming to already know meta profit, right? So what do you think? Do we need anything else? Anybody? Or maybe you remember what we did as far as the previous tutorial that I did on this? What do you guys think? Gosh, we're already at 2 hours. Jeez, thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. But give me some feedback here. What do you guys think about this data set? Nobody? No feedback? All right. Well, if I think about the tutorial I did on MetaProfit, and I think about the requirements for MetaProfit, this file fits those requirements. MetaProfit just wants a date timestamp and a price, and that's it. It can work off that. That's one of Profit's biggest claims, right? That it's a very simple set of inputs. There's a lot of hyperparameters you can tune, but this here should be sufficient. More importantly, it's also a data set that we can use for EDA, right? There's only 2 columns, so there's limited EDA possibilities. But this is a perfectly valid data set for EDA, which is one of our next steps, right? Leo says, I don't know about the hour column. We should consider some cleaning. Sure, we can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that Profit requires you to do that, right? Or you can handle it like at runtime. But sure, we can also ask ChatGPT to drop it, right? To just give us a date, because we really don't care what time that date happened, right? But overall, I think that this does fit the requirements. The only other part that is kind of doubtful to me, and this is something we'd have to look up, is I can't remember if Profit requires you to send it in reverse order. So the most recent first, and then the last entry is your oldest entry. Right here, our oldest entry is first. So I can't remember if we need to do descending by time like that. But that would be my only other item. But really, I mean, that's still kind of looking a little too far ahead, because we haven't done any EDA, right? We still need to do some EDA to kind of see kind of where it's going to land, right? Get a sense for the data. We haven't really done that, right? So that's what we want to do, because if we go back to our methodology, we've successfully identified a way to do data collection, right? We've talked through the ideation stage. And excuse me, just to clarify, we've gotten the data collection or at least one idea. Or Manoj, if you're still online, that's another question for you, right? The data set, could this data set that's up on the screen, could this data set be used for the efficient frontier items you were talking about? Is this enough? Maybe, maybe not, right? I could see how this would be enough for some Monte Carlo approaches, maybe. Right? Okay, Manoj is saying yes. So there we go. We can get double duty out of the same data collection effort. That's great, right? So I think that we're on a viable track here, right? We're on a viable track to get some of these items. Now, I don't want to overlook Fatima's idea, because I still think it's a fundamentally interesting idea. We should definitely explore it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refine that script offline on my own time, and then I'll have those CSVs ready for us the next time we meet. Because again, I want to do that off screen. I don't want to risk showing any of my personal information. But I think that right now we potentially have 3 models, right? We have 2 data pipelines and 3 models, because one of those pipelines, this one, can be used for 2 models. So Manoj, you're saying the same library is used to perform efficient frontier technique? Is that what, so you're saying that's what MetaProfit uses? Is that what it was? It might have been. Help me understand it, Manoj. Are you saying that MetaProfit uses efficient frontier? But look, either way, it sounds like we're Y Finance. Okay, gotcha, Manoj. Gotcha. Okay, got. But it sounds like we're on our way here for 3 different models, which is great, right? We should have parallel tracks like that. We should have parallel tracks where we can go back to the client and say, hey, look, this is what we're looking at. This is the champion approach. This is why we're recommending it, right? So I think we're on the right track here. So because we don't have that second pipeline fully built out, I really want to do that offline. I think that this is going to make a natural stopping point for all of us, because I want to pick it up here next week. So next week, we're going to have additional data sets, and we're also going to have, we're going to pick up with EDA, right? We're going to use our employee ChatGPT to help us conduct some EDA on the data. Maybe also do some visualizations, right? And then we're going to start seeing, the modeling side, right? So we can use Y Finance, we can use Profit, and then we can also start, I'm sure there's sentiment analysis libraries out there, right? We can start looking at those too. So I want to stop here. We'll call this our data collection, our data pipelines portion, and our ideation. I think all of you did a really great job in coming up with ideas and supporting each other, challenging each other. You're going to go through this, right? So it's really important for us to be able to do it here in this type of environment. So sincerely appreciate everyone that participated in that, because I feel really passionate about that, because that's where this is all a science, right? Nobody really knows what the answer is, so we got to work things out. We got to talk things out. Okay? All right, guys. So any final notes or any final questions anybody wants to ask before we wrap up? Otherwise, I think, this was a great session. Really appreciate all of you. It's fun to step through the methodology, right? To me, it's fun to be able to teach this and to be able to keep on supporting this, because I can't tell you how important this is in keeping like data science pure, and keeping it like as a professional study, right? Because we're not just chasing libraries, chasing data. We're trying to take it from a place where we're applying our own knowledge, our own theories, our own like an investment hypothesis, and trying to make it come true or not.